I'm Brad Martin, part-time faculty, and we have two sections of rock climbing, this fall term and spring term. A little bit about me is I started rock climbing in 1988. Grew up in Colorado. I took a introduction to rock climbing class from Colorado Mountain School, and then that just kind of evolved and into mountaineering and some ice climbing and some other things like that, and I've been teaching climbing since 1992. This wall we're pretty excited to have now. It's 20 feet tall and just about 40 feet wide. It's built from different panels that have been put onto a metal skeleton behind it, and the panels are made from kind of a mixture of concrete and fiberglass. And the holds are removable, and they can be moved around from place to place into the different T-nuts, and the T-nuts are the holds that the bolts screw into. And the structure itself is permanent, but the holds can be moved around to make harder climbs, easier climbs, kind of moderate climbs. And so what we're doing in this class is students are learning how to top rope climb. Top rope climbing means there's a belayer down on the ground, and then the climber starts down on the ground too. And the belayer is using a device, a carabiner, and a belay device that creates friction through the rope to stop a climber's fall. So there's an anchor at the top. There's two bolts at the top that makes the anchor, and that goes through 1/4-inch steel. So it's pretty secure, and the rope is very strong as well. It's rated to thousands of pounds of strength for the rope, so it's as safe as we can make it. And the climber will start at the bottom. They can climb up as high as they want to. They don't necessarily have to get to the top, but they can just challenge themselves to climb harder routes or easier routes depending on what they want to do. And then the climber can hold them when they get to the top when they're ready to come down, and then lower them back down when they're ready. This is the only wall that I know of in Oregon at a community college, so we're pretty excited to have this, and we're the only community college that offers 4-credit climbing classes as well. There's, I believe Oregon State offers it in their 4-year school. And Mount Hood Community College has a 2-year program as well. So we're pretty excited to have this new facility. So what I thought we could do is just get a little closer to the wall here, and then we'll do a bit of a demonstration with one of the other students. So this is the knot that we're using to tie in. It's called a figure 8 follow-through knot. It's pretty standard knot used in the climbing world. And we'll use it here on the wall too. But he's going through 2 points on his harness, and then he's going to tie into this to the rope here. And these are the harnesses that we're using. Utilizes a double back system with a buckle here to make it secure. These are the Belay Devices that we're using. It's called an ATC, and these are the locking carabiners that we'll use. Rope goes through ATC, kind of like this. Carabiner goes through that and then through the harness. So I'm going to be belaying Robin, and I'm going to make sure that Robin's knot is secure with no strange kinks. He's going through the 2 points of his harness, and his harness is doubled back. And Robin's going to check me to make sure that the rope is going through correctly through the ATC and is attached to my harness correctly.
And that your harness is double backed as well.
Yep.
Everything's ready, so on belay.
Belay is on.
Climbing.
Climb on. So I'm using my right hand as a brake hand on the rope.
How much slack do you get to get on the line?
So Robin, slow down a little bit. So I want to keep it pretty tight on him, but I don't want it so tight that it's pulling him off. But I don't want it so loose that he falls a little bit too. The ropes will stretch some. They have about 10% elongation. If it didn't stretch at all, like piano wire, and you took a fall, it would jerk your spine. So you want it to stretch slightly. All right, keep climbing real slow. So what Robin's doing right now, he's trying to keep most of his weight over his feet. And I heard someone say that it takes lots of upper body strength, but the really good climbers are using their legs mostly. That's why women tend to be pretty good climbers, because they use their legs more than guys do. And the more weight you can put over your feet, the better. There are different routes. Like this one has this red dragon tape on it. So if you climb that route with just the red dragon tape, that's a little bit harder than just grabbing anything that you can. And yeah, so you can challenge yourself by using different routes. Like there's one over here that Eric is on. He's climbing the one with just the turquoise tape. And that's a route that he set. And so that's going to be a little bit harder than climbing anywhere he wants to. Gotcha.
Ready to lower.
Lowering. So the commands that we're using are consistent and the same. So we are using the same commands over and over. So there's clear communication between the climber and the belayer. So we know what the other wants when they need it. And when he's getting lowered down, he's just going to have a kind of a wide shoulder width stance, kind of his legs straight into the wall, and just getting lowered down like this. So it's not like in the movies getting rappelling really fast. It's slow and controlled. And
good job.
Thank you. All right, off belay.
belay off. And so those commands of on belay, off belay tells the climber that they're responsible. They're not going to let go with their brake hand until the climber's down and says off belay. And then once the climber says off belay, the belayer can let go, and they're not responsible anymore for that person. Yep. All right. Do you want to answer a few questions for the crowd? Does anybody have any questions about that or anything? Or why are you taking this class, Robin?
I really got into mountaineering kind of in my teen years, I guess, and so I kind of wanted to challenge myself a little bit more, something that'll kind of test my physical strength a little bit better. And so slowly I wanted to test this out, and I got into class, so I'm seeing how it's treating me, and I love it so far. So.
What students will get from this course, what it'll prepare them for, is just having a basic understanding of climbing. They'll understand how to belay, how to tie some basic knots. It is an introductory class, so you don't need any experience to take it. Take complete beginners. Then after the class is over, you'll have some basic understanding. To climb outside is a little different, because climbing outside takes a little bit more technical experience and knowledge, and you can get that after this course. Can continue to just grow as a climber and learn more about the technical side of climbing. Climbing for me was just a great way of travel, because for me it was a reason to travel abroad, and I've done some climbing and mountaineering in other countries like Ecuador and Norway and some other places, and that was just a real great reason to travel and meeting other people, meeting other climbers, and seeing other parts of the world. But I think any more time that you can spend outside, the better. There's lots of climbing opportunities right here in our backyard in Oregon, because Oregon has so much public land, and there's lots of great climbing around Mount Hood, closer in Gresham, and just outside of Portland, and so there's lots of close by spots that you can get to as well. There was a climbing wall boom in the 1990s, and a lot of universities and community colleges were getting climbing walls then, and I think just bigger and taller, more surface area. And then there's some walls that have cave features, so there's more bouldering opportunities. And bouldering is when you are moving across or laterally across the wall and not necessarily going up to the top. You don't need to tie in for that. You can just get on there and practice your balance and practice footwork and train by yourself. And some walls have just more space for that, but this wall works well for bouldering too. And we do warm-up drills at the beginning of every class where we just boulder across, get warmed up before anyone ties in. This class has been offered for the past several years, but we've gone to off-site climbing gyms, and then we would go there for the majority of the hours, and then we would climb outside a little bit too. But yeah, this is the first term where we've had our own wall, and we didn't have to go somewhere else to a private gym. Yeah.
How do you like it being on campus?
It's really convenient for everybody. It's convenient for students because they don't have to drive to another location to climb. It's just right here. So it's really convenient for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
sure.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
this is a thank you.
Oh, okay.
And your wife picked out the color.
Oh, great.
Just
Perfect.
letting you know, you better come home with that color.
All right. Thanks. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks.